Here are 6 ways to find products to sell on Amazon for this year. I've ranked these 6 methods that I use or have used for my very own Amazon business from beginner to expert. This means the beginner methods require the least amount of data analysis compared to the expert methods. So let's get started with method 1, which is a free app that I built called sellerbuddy. This app will teach you how to sell on Amazon step by step while also offering some unique selling tools like sellerbuddy AI. We can simply log in sellerbuddy on our phone or computer and ask it to find a product for us based on a few lines of criteria, which I'm about to show you. So I'm going to head over to the sellerbuddy AI feature here, and I'm going to ask it to find this product for us based on a few lines of criteria. So let's say, find me a product to sell on Amazon that is in the, let's say, $12 to $30 sales price range. It's non-electronic and it has a rising search volume trend. So I'll click go, and then after a few seconds, sellerbuddy AI should look through all this data that it has access to and to deliver a product idea for us based on our criteria. Now it's important to note that this product that it will find us isn't exactly what someone else may see. Depending on the criteria that you put in and the time that this is looking through that data, it should yield a different result compared to what someone else may be typing in. So we can see that the product that it found for us is a reusable silicone food storage bag, and it provides us some information on why it selected that and also how it fits into our criteria, such as the $12 to $30 range, and that the recent search volume for these products have been steadily increasing. So what I would do now is I would go to Google Trends, which we'll actually get into in a future method here, and I would see how the data is stacking up over time. If it looks promising and the search volume is trending upward over time, I would investigate this even further. I'd find the product on Alibaba or another supplier directory, and then I'd see what the margins would end up being. The good thing about sellerbuddy is that I actually have a margin calculator implemented into the application for free that you can use to estimate your costs, your FBA fees, and what your net profit would end up being for this type of product. All right, method 2, and that is the trending hot products list on Alibaba.com. For those of you who are unaware, Alibaba is a supplier directory for suppliers to really broadcast their products to consumers and sellers like ourselves. So these are trending products that people are typing in and looking for during this given period of time. I've used this in the past to look for new product ideas before they really hit the market and before they actually begin selling on Amazon. More often than not, you'll see the trends start to happen on these supplier directory websites like Alibaba before they actually hit Amazon. So if we're looking for trends on Amazon, it may actually be too late because there may be a flood of Amazon sellers that are already looking to sell this coming product in the near future. So that's why I've used this trending product list to find those new ideas before they actually hit the market here in the United States. Now let's run through a quick example just so you can understand what I'd be looking for. The first thing is I'm looking at the price, and I'm looking for a product that is relatively cheap and small to reduce our FBA fees. I'm also looking for something that catches my eye. If it's an electronic, I'm going to look past it. However, if it's a product that I haven't seen before, I'm quite curious about it, I would select that product and to investigate into it further. And then I could use my additional resources, which we're about to get into, like Google Trends, and validate that this product will be a good opportunity to sell in the coming year. So after searching for a minute, I came across this product here, this bedside lamp, but what caught my eye in particular is just the uniqueness of this product. It actually uses magnetism to suspend the actual light of this lamp. So I think that's something, one, I've never seen on Amazon, at least as of the making of this video. And I think this could be a way to differentiate ourselves if we were actually able to validate that there's demand for this type of product and it looked like a good opportunity. But I just want to run through examples so you understand how to really sort through that list, look for something that catches your eye, and then we're going to validate it later on through our future methods through Google Trends as well as Jungle Scout. Next, we have method number 3, which is the Amazon movers and shakers list and the most wished for lists. I like these 2 list sets on Amazon, among other ones, because they're a representation of trending products on Amazon, which gives us the best shot of identifying these hot new trending products before other sellers actually get to them. It's also confirmation that there's high levels of demand in these product categories since they're ranking so high on the movers and shakers list as well as the most wished for list. Now, what I would be doing when I'm scrolling through these 2 list sets in order to find a product idea is I'm looking for one of 2 things. So the first thing on the movers and shakers list, I'm looking for a product that has under 100 reviews, and it's also, the second part of this is that it's in the top 4 products in that specific category. So for example, this product would work because it has 68 reviews and it's in number 2 bestseller as far as the movers and shakers in tools and home improvement. So at that point, I'd select that listing, I would go into it further, and I'd also look on Alibaba to see if that product is available that I could resell here in the United States with my own private label brand. Now for the most wished for, this is what consumers are putting in their most wished for lists. I'm looking for the same criteria, except I'm going to bump up the ratings from 100 to 500 reviews for this list set. Now, the reason why that 100 or 500 reviews requirement for me is so important because it's a suggestion that this is a high demand niche, and it also offers an opportunity that a low competition product is ranking that high. So if you find a product that's under that requirement in ratings, that means it's a fairly new product because it doesn't have a lot of reviews, yet it has a very low bestsellers rank or high demand because it's ranking in these list sets. So for example, let's look at this first one. This is under 500 reviews. This is a tabletop fire pit. So I would select this product and then I would investigate into it further. Now I have a tool here through Jungle Scout, which is a Chrome extension. I'll put a link in the description for you. And I would look at what the sales are looking like over the past few months. This is great news that this product just listed in August of 2023, and it's continuing to trend upward in terms of the number of unit sales and demand for this product. Now that is great news, and I would go to Alibaba at this point or another supplier directory to find a similar product. I would also look at negative reviews for this product to find out what I can do better for my own product, and then I would look to sell that product in the US market. Okay, method 4, and that is to use Google Trends and another add-on called Glimpse. Now, I've been speaking about Google Trends up to this point, so what is it? Google Trends will help us measure product demand for search terms that people are typing in on Google's platforms. The number of times that consumers type in product names directly relates to product demand, most cases. We can then use Glimpse to analyze this data more easily and to locate trending search terms. So let's go through an example so you can see what the interface looks like. And once you go to Google Trends, you could type in any keyword that you want or product name if you're interested in. So for example, that previous example was a tabletop fire pit. Let's see how that's performing over the past 12 months. Now this monthly search volume has a direct relationship to product demand in most cases. So this gives us an idea that we did see an upward trend in demand from January to May, then it declined, and now it's back on that increasing trend. So, just looking at this demand, I wouldn't be too excited about this. Another thing that we can do is we can go to the past 5 years or further to see how it's performing over time. This looks very seasonal with these spikes in the spring. So that is not a product that I would want to sell. Okay, so how do we find these trends before they even happen? I think that's probably the most important question so you can get ahead of the curve. I would go to this Discover Trends bar up here, and this is using Glimpse. And then I would go through a product category that I am interested in selling in. So for example, if you watch the latest products video that I just released this past week, you'll know that personal care is a very top performing category along with pet supplies and another one. You'll have to check that out. So let's go ahead, let's select personal care here because we're interested in selling it in that category. And then we can look at keywords, or in other words, product ideas that consumers are typing in, which also means that demand is increasing for that product. So this is actually how I found one of the top products for this year, and that was the silicone body scrubber. So you can select that keyword, and this will bring us data for the past 5 years. Now what Glimpse does very well is they actually apply a trend line so you can see how the demand is changing over time versus all these spikes that you may see as people are typing in this keyword more often in a shorter period of time. So I just think that does a great job so you can look at it at a macro level and understand that, okay, this product is obviously trending upward in demand. So if this was a product that I'd be interested in, I would go to Alibaba, I'd receive a quote for a similar type of product that fits within this niche, and I'd head over to the sellerbuddy margin calculator just to confirm what my fees and costs are going to be and ultimately what the profit will be per sale. All right, now we're on to the more expert level data analysis tools that we have access to. The two that I'm going to show you here at the very end are through Jungle Scout. This is a great software that you can use in order to access data that comes directly from Amazon searches and Amazon listings. So that's important versus Google Trends because Google Trends is a representation of Google's platforms, while this is a representation of what people are typing in only on Amazon. So the product database is the first tool that we'll be using. We'll use this tool to enter criteria we're looking for in a product listing, and then we'll locate that product later on. Now, this is the best method to find an existing top performing product that you can compete with or share some of the market with. This is not a way to find a niche, which is going to be coming up in the next method. So at first, you see a lot of different inputs that we have here. I'm going to show you exactly what I would type in. So on the left-hand side, make sure that you are in the country that you plan to sell in, the US for here, and then select the categories that you're interested in selling in. So I'm interested in pet supplies, personal care, as well as sports and outdoors. You can select as many or as few as you want. Just depends how open you are to selling different products. Next, let's head over to the product tier. Make sure you select standard because you do not want to sell an oversized product just because it has an excessive amount of storage and FBA fees. Seller type, I'm only going to sell this product, this potential product, as an FBA seller. So I only want to look at other FBA sellers that are selling this product. All right, we'll go down to price. My preferred range is between $12 and $30. All right, next we'll move down to the revenue. I'd like this to be at least a product listing that's producing over $10,000 in revenue per month. And then we'll head up to the reviews. I want this to have a maximum of 50 reviews because that tells me that this product listing is fairly new. However, it's performing at a very high level with over $10,000 in monthly revenue. Next, we'll go to the star rating. I want this to be between a 2 and a 3.9 star rating. So that means that this is not a great product. And what we'll end up doing is we'll end up looking at the negative reviews for this product that's performing very well, and we'll look to make improvements on our product. That way we can outcompete them or can at least control the majority of the market share. All right, let's scroll down. There's two other things we need to do now. The date first available. So that's the first available date for this product listing that we're about to find. I like to look at the previous 90 days. This means it's a new listing and it's not a listing that's been on for multiple years and has really a great track record. So let's do the last 90 days and click apply, and then make sure you exclude the top brands. All right, so once you click search, you're going to be met with a range of different products. As you can see here, we're displaying 50 out of 155 product listings. Now, what I usually do at this point is I'll go to the right-hand side here, and then I will rank these based on the best seller rank. What is the best seller rank? I know you've heard me say it previously in this video, but the best seller rank is an indicator of how well a product is selling compared to other products in that same category. So the more sales a product listing is receiving over a shorter period of time, the better their sales rank is going to be, meaning the lower it's going to be. And that just tells us that it's a very top performing product in that category. So once we filtered based on that in descending order, we can go ahead and start looking at these ideas. So the first one are resistance bands. That isn't anything that really gets me excited because they've been around for decades. So to really outcompete those existing brand names is going to be very difficult. So I'll scroll through here, and I'm also excluding any ideas that are seasonal. For example, it's close to Christmas time here. I would exclude this Christmas one because it's going to be a seasonal product that performs very well, probably from October to December, but after that, it's going to perform very poor until that following year. Now, this product here actually catches my eye because, one, I'm very interested in sports and outdoor products, and I'm also very interested in golf. So this is a golf green reader. If you want to know more about that product, you can click the Amazon icon and it will take you to that Amazon listing. So this is a product you place on the golf green, and it gives you an idea of what the slope would be, meaning which way is the green pitching or rolling. So I think that's new. That's something I honestly have not seen. I'm not sure if it's legal to use on the PGA Tour. But what I would do at this point, regardless of the product, is I would go to the ratings down here. So remember that this product's performing very well. It's meeting over $10,000 in monthly revenue. We can confirm that up here. The monthly revenue is over $14,000. And what we wanted to do is to figure out what we can actually do better with our product if we were to sell a very similar product. So let's select these 6 ratings. And since there's only 6, there may not be enough feedback to really give us an idea of how we can improve this. So I usually start from the bottom and work my way up. So the 1 star, unfortunately, it was just a rating. They didn't leave any feedback. So I'd go to the next available review. That's the lowest, and that's this 4-star one. And then we can read this. So they say it works well, just a big large for a, probably just a bit large for a placeholder. I would prefer it if it was a bit smaller and it would be less in the way when moving around. So that's something we can take as critical feedback on what consumers are looking for to improve this product. So if we could go to Alibaba, we could find a product that achieves the same solution and solves that problem for the customer, but we could work with the supplier to reduce the size down to a manageable level that the consumer would be happy with. So that's how you can use the product database to find a product listing, and then also how you can improve your product and to compete with this product listing and to control most of the market share. I actually used this method to find one of my top products to sell this year, the Snuffle Ball. After finding the listing through this method, I went to Google Trends to validate the trend, and once confirmed, I knew that this product would be a top performing seller this coming year. Make sure to check out my video after this one if you're looking to see what the top products will be for this coming year. All right, on to our final method, and that's number 6, which is very similar to the last one, but this time we'll end up using Jungle Scout's Opportunity Finder. Rather than finding a product listing that's performing to our criteria, we'll seek a product niche or subcategory of products that are top performers and then source a product to sell in that niche. This is what I use more times than not, just to find a product niche that is performing very well, and then I can find a product to sell within that niche. So just like before, we'll go through our inputs, we'll enter our criteria, and then we'll search through the list to find a niche to sell in. I'll start out with confirming that my marketplace is correct, which it is, and then I'll move over to selecting one or more categories that we want to sell in and take a look at. Now in particular, let's just focus on kitchen and dining. Let's say I want to sell a kitchen and dining product, but I'm not sure what type of product to fit in within that category. Then we'll move over to the right here, average monthly units sold. This is a representation of our demand. We'll make that 500. And the monthly search volume is also a representation of our demand. I'd make that 1,000. Moving over to the average monthly price, $12 to $30 is what I prefer. And then a 7 minimum niche score. What is a niche score? This is Jungle Scout's score based on the opportunity really for that product niche itself. As you can see here, the higher the number indicates the higher score, which means it has higher demand, less competition, and then the quality of the listings isn't actually great, which gives you a better opportunity. All right, we'll skip over these two trends here, and then we'll go down to competition, make that very low to low, and then seasonality also very low to low. The last thing to do is to exclude any top brands, and then if you want to exclude keywords like seasonal holidays, like Christmas right now, I'm going to add that in there. That way I do not see niches such as Christmas decorations. Click search. Now you'll see your list below. We have 54 total niches that we can take a look at. Jungle Scout will probably filter these based on the niche score, the highest niche score down to the lowest in descending order. But I would recommend going over to the search trend for the 90 days. And I would change this to descending order. That way you can see the niches with the highest 90-day search trend at the very top. Now, the reason why we want to do that is if we see a higher 90-day search trend, it's an indicator that that demand will continue to rise over the next 90 days and so forth. It's also long enough of a period of time that if this continues to increase over a 3-month period, that's reassuring that demand is either one, very stable and high, or it's going to continue to increase. Now, on the other hand, if you look at the 30-day trend, you may see a quick spike in the 30-day trend, but it does not mean that it's going to be a long-term product to sell. We see this commonly with products that go viral on TikTok. You see a sharp increase in the 30-day trend, and then the next month they go back down to their normal levels of demand, and it's not a top performing product. So the top product that we see here is the koozie holder, and that has a niche score of an 8, has a decent units sold history, extremely high search volume of over 30,000, and we have a very high 90-day search trend. Jungle Scout also suggests that this is very low competition. Now, what I would do is I wouldn't just go to Amazon and take a look at this just quite yet. I'd select the opportunity itself, and then I'd look at the average units sold history. The first thing that stands out to me is that we see these sharp increases during the Christmas time, so that could be just a normal seasonal holiday spike. But the second thing is that if you were to draw a trend line, you would see relatively a upward trend over time, which is always reassuring. Now that is the number of units sold, that isn't search volume. So if we go over to search volume, we should see a similar trend line, which we are here. So this is reassuring news that demand will be strong when we begin selling this 45 to 60 days in the future. All right, the last thing I would do is I'd go to Amazon for this niche, and I'd begin brainstorming ideas of how I can improve this product and compete with these listings. Now, the one thing that's good is on this first listing page, for most niches, you see listings with thousands and thousands of reviews, and your opportunity, or chances, I should say, of actually ranking your product listing on that first listing page are very, very slim. But with niches like this, where there's only 3 reviews, 2 reviews, no reviews, and these aren't sponsored listings and they're popping up on the first listing page, this gives you an extremely rare opportunity to place your product in front of thousands and thousands of customers every single day without having to rely heavily on Amazon pay-per-click advertising. Thank you for watching. Make sure to check out my latest video on the top products to sell for this coming year. If you're not interested in learning how to find these top products, I've done the work for you. I've done the research for you. Check out that video and you can see what I believe will be top performing products for this coming year.